Welcome back to the channel USA Coins 69, where we explore the incredible stories behind some of the most iconic and valuable coins in the world. Today, we're diving deep into a coin that might just be sitting quietly in your collection, or even your pocket, the 1966 United States 1-cent Lincoln penny, complete with its mint mark. What seems like a humble penny is actually a fascinating piece of American numismatic history, and by the end of this video, you'll understand why this particular penny can be worth a whole lot more than its face value. Let's start by setting the scene. The year 1966 was a pivotal time in the United States, socially and economically. The country was in the middle of tremendous change, culturally, politically, and even in the world of coinage. The Lincoln penny, first introduced in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, was already a well-established symbol by then. Known for its simple yet enduring design featuring Lincoln's profile on the obverse, the penny has been an everyday companion to Americans for decades, but what makes the 1966 penny particularly interesting to collectors is the subtle yet significant changes it underwent during that year. This penny was minted during a transitional period when the U.S. Mint was experimenting with composition and minting techniques, responding to economic factors like rising copper prices and the demand for coinage during the Vietnam War era. The 1966 penny is mostly made of a copper alloy, but its exact composition and the mint marks carry crucial details that can make or break its value. Now, about the mint marks. 1966 pennies were minted in Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. Unlike some other years where mint marks might be scarce, 1966 pennies were produced in relatively large numbers across these mints. But here's where the story gets intriguing. Coins from the San Francisco Mint are typically proof coins, struck with extra care and precision for collectors, and these mint mark pennies are less common in circulation. This rarity, combined with the overall condition of the coin, can significantly increase its value. The design itself is classic. On the front, we see the detailed bust of Abraham Lincoln, his calm and steady gaze symbolizing integrity and leadership. The reverse side features the iconic Lincoln Memorial, a monument dedicated in 1922 to honor the 16th president. For many collectors, the condition of the details on both sides, especially the sharpness of Lincoln's portrait and the intricate lines of the memorial, is a key factor in determining worth. But let's get into what really sets certain 1966 pennies apart from the rest: mint errors and unique characteristics that can turn a simple coin into a rare collector's item. Some 1966 pennies exhibit die cracks, doubling effects, or variations in the mint mark's placement and size, which make them fascinating to numismatists. For example, a double die penny might show noticeable doubling on the date or the inscriptions, creating a kind of shadow effect that's highly prized among collectors. Another rarity is the off-center strike, where the coin's design isn't perfectly centered on the metal blank, leading to a portion of the image being cut off or skewed. These errors are usually quite rare and sought after because they're accidental snapshots of the minting process. Collectors love coins with these quirks since they're like tiny pieces of history frozen in metal. Condition is everything in coin collecting, and the 1966 penny is no exception. Coins that have been well preserved, showing minimal wear, no scratches, and excellent luster, can fetch much higher prices. Those graded mint state 65 or better by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC are especially valuable. A crisp, clean 1966 penny with a clear mint mark and no blemishes is a gem that collectors will pay a premium for. In recent years, interest in these pennies has surged, partly because of the nostalgia associated with Lincoln pennies and partly due to the growing awareness of mint errors and rare variants. Auctions for pristine 1966 pennies with unique features have generated impressive bids, proving that even a coin that was once worth just a cent can become a prized collectible. Now, the moment you've been waiting for: the value. If you happen to own a 1966 Lincoln penny with a clear mint mark, especially one from the San Francisco Mint in near-perfect condition or with one of the rare minting errors, it could be worth an astonishing $74,300 in words. That's right. A humble 1-cent coin from 1966 can transform into a treasure worth tens of thousands of dollars, thanks to its rarity, condition, and unique features. So next time you dig through your coin jar or find a 1966 penny in your change, take a closer look. That ordinary penny could be an extraordinary piece of history and a valuable collectible waiting to be discovered. Today, we're turning the spotlight on an everyday coin with extraordinary potential, the 1968 United States 1-cent Lincoln penny, complete with its mint mark. While a penny might seem insignificant to many, the 1968 Lincoln cent holds a unique place in numismatic history, and by the end of this video, you'll discover why it could be worth far more than just 1 cent. Let's rewind to 1968, a year brimming with social change, historic milestones, and shifts in the American landscape. Amidst the turbulence, the U.S. Mint continued to produce the Lincoln penny, a coin that had been in circulation since 1909 and had become one of the most beloved and enduring symbols of American currency. The coin's timeless design, featuring Abraham Lincoln's profile on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, served as a daily reminder of leadership, perseverance, and national unity. What makes the 1968 Lincoln penny so intriguing isn't just the design, but the context of its production and the subtle details that collectors look for. This penny was struck at 3 different mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, with the respective mint marks being none for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco. The San Francisco Mint primarily produced proof coins in 1968, meaning those pennies are struck with exceptional precision and quality, usually reserved for collectors and not for everyday circulation. Now, here's where things get interesting. Pennies from the San Francisco S Mint are relatively scarce in circulation, making them more desirable for collectors, especially when found in pristine, uncirculated condition. Meanwhile, the Denver D Mint pennies were produced in larger quantities but can still be valuable if they exhibit particular qualities or mint errors. The design itself is iconic. On the front, we have a dignified and detailed bust of Abraham Lincoln, his calm expression engraved to reflect the spirit of resilience. The reverse features the Lincoln Memorial, a stunning architectural tribute that has graced the penny's reverse since 1959. The intricate detailing of the columns and steps speaks to the craftsmanship of the era, but what really grabs the attention of numismatists are the minting anomalies and unique characteristics that some 1968 pennies carry. Among the most sought after are error coins, those coins where something went awry during the minting process. You might encounter a double die error, where the date or lettering appears doubled, creating a ghost-like image that stands out dramatically. This type of error is rare and highly prized because it's a result of a misalignment during the die preparation. Another type of sought-after error is the off-center strike. Imagine a coin where the design isn't perfectly centered on the metal planchet, leading to parts of Lincoln's face or the Lincoln Memorial being cut off. These errors occur due to mishaps in the striking process, and their rarity makes them hot commodities in the collecting world. Condition remains the cornerstone of a coin's value. A 1968 Lincoln penny in mint condition, untouched by circulation, sharp in detail, and free of blemishes, can command a significant premium. Collectors often seek coins graded mint state 65 or higher by professional services like PCGS or NGC, where every nuance and detail of the coin's surface is preserved perfectly. The interest in Lincoln pennies, especially those from the late 1960s, has grown dramatically. The combination of historical significance, iconic design, and minting quirks has driven up demand. Auction results over the past few years show that rare 1968 pennies, especially proof coins or those with mint errors, fetch impressive sums among collectors. So, what could this mean for you if you stumble upon a 1968 Lincoln penny with the right mint mark and condition? A genuine 1968 Lincoln penny in pristine condition or one exhibiting notable minting errors could be worth an eye-popping $75,500. In words, yes, that's right, a small 1-cent coin from 1968 could be transformed into an incredible treasure, prized for its rarity, beauty, and place in American history. Next time you come across a 1968 Lincoln penny, whether tucked in an old jar or mixed with your loose change, take a moment to examine it closely. Look for that mint mark and check the coin's condition and any unusual details. What you find might just be a gateway to a numismatic fortune. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and often debated pennies in American numismatics, the 1982 United States 1-cent Lincoln penny, complete with its mint mark. While a penny might seem like small change, the 1982 Lincoln cent is anything but ordinary. This coin has a unique story filled with surprises, making it a must-know for anyone interested in coin collecting or just curious about the hidden value in everyday currency. By the end of this video, you'll see why this penny could be worth far more than its face value, and how owning one could be like holding a little treasure in your hands. Let's set the stage. The year 1982 was a time of economic shifts and change in the US, and the US Mint made one of the most significant changes to the penny that year. Before 1982, the penny was made almost entirely of copper, but rising copper prices led to a new composition. From mid-1982 onward, pennies were struck with a mostly zinc core and only a thin copper plating. This transition makes 1982 pennies a fascinating year for collectors because it's the only year when both the older 95% copper pennies and the new 97.5% zinc pennies were minted and circulated. Now, add to this complexity the fact that pennies from this year were minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, with no mint mark; Denver, with a D mint mark; and San Francisco, with an S mint mark. Each mint produced both copper and zinc versions, but the distribution was uneven, and the subtle differences in color and weight can make all the difference when identifying and valuing these coins. On the obverse, you'll find the ever-familiar image of President Abraham Lincoln, a design that's been a mainstay since 1909. His profile, with the deep lines and detailed hair, tells a story of history and leadership. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial stands tall and proud, showcasing classic American architecture and symbolizing unity and strength. The 1982 penny holds this classic design but hides a little mystery beneath its surface. Collectors are particularly drawn to the 1982 penny because of the 2 types of metal compositions minted that year. Copper pennies are heavier, with a distinct reddish hue, while zinc pennies are lighter and tend to have a paler, silvery copper color. Distinguishing between these 2 versions is key because copper pennies generally command higher prices, especially when found in excellent condition, but the intrigue doesn't stop there. Among the 1982 pennies, there are also rare minting errors and variations that have become legendary in the numismatic community. For example, some pennies have doubled dies, a minting flaw where the date or lettering appears doubled, giving the coin a distinctive and highly collectible look. Others might feature off-center strikes, where the design isn't perfectly aligned with the coin's edges, creating a striking visual effect that collectors love. Condition plays a huge role in determining the value of any coin, and the 1982 Lincoln penny is no exception. Coins that have been well preserved, those with full detail, brilliant luster, and free from scratches or wear, are much more valuable than the worn, circulated pennies you might find in your change. Professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC often grade these coins, and a high-grade 1982 penny, especially one with a mint mark and error, can bring serious money on the collector market. Interestingly, the 1982 pennies also sparked a surge of interest because many were saved by collectors right from the start, aware that this year marked the changeover in metal composition. As a result, uncirculated and proof versions are more sought after than many other years. Now, you might be wondering, what does this mean in terms of value? If you are lucky enough to have a 1982 Lincoln penny with a clear mint mark, especially in copper composition and in pristine condition, or even better, one featuring one of those rare mint errors, it could be worth an incredible $70,800 in words. Yes, that's right. What looks like a simple penny could be a priceless gem in your collection. A piece of history and rarity that collectors around the world seek with passion. So next time you find a 1982 penny, don't just toss it aside. Take a moment to inspect the mint mark, check the color and weight, and look for any unusual characteristics. You might be holding a coin that's worth far more than just 1 cent. Today, we're diving deep into a classic piece of American history, the 1973 United States 1-cent Lincoln penny, complete with its mint mark. You might think pennies are just spare change, but the 1973 Lincoln penny holds a fascinating place in numismatics, and if you know what to look for, it could be worth a whole lot more than its face value. Stick around as we explore the rich history, design details, rarity factors, and the jaw-dropping worth of this iconic coin. Let's start with a bit of background. The Lincoln penny has been a staple of American currency since 1909, celebrating the legacy of Abraham Lincoln with a design that has changed very little over the decades. By 1973, the penny was well established as a symbol of American heritage, featuring the proud profile of Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back, a design introduced in 1959 to commemorate Lincoln's 150th birthday. This particular year, 1973, was a period of transition and growth in the U.S., and the penny quietly continued to be minted in massive quantities at various mints across the country. The mint mark on a 1973 penny is crucial. It tells collectors exactly where the coin was made. Pennies from this year were produced mainly at the Philadelphia Mint, which generally did not carry a mint mark, and the Denver Mint, marked with a D. There were also a smaller number produced at the San Francisco Mint, marked with an S, mostly for proof sets rather than circulation. The mint mark can drastically affect the coin's rarity and, therefore, its value. On the obverse side, the penny displays the detailed and dignified bust of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Every line, every shadow in Lincoln's face, tells a story of leadership and perseverance, qualities deeply etched into America's collective memory. The reverse side features the Lincoln Memorial, standing tall with its columns and steps meticulously engraved, symbolizing unity and the enduring spirit of the nation. What makes the 1973 penny especially interesting to collectors is not just the design, but the scarcity of coins in mint condition and the existence of certain rare variations and errors. While millions of pennies were minted in 1973, very few have survived the wear and tear of daily use in near-perfect condition. Coins that have been carefully preserved, showing no signs of circulation damage, retain sharp details and a brilliant finish, making them highly sought after. Among the rarities that collectors chase are the infamous mint errors that can appear on 1973 pennies. These might include double die errors, where the date or lettering appears double due to a misalignment during the minting process. Such errors make the coin one of a kind, creating a visual anomaly that immediately attracts collectors' eyes. Other rare errors include off-center strikes or clipped planchets, which add to the coin's uniqueness and market value. The condition of the coin plays a massive role in its value. A 1973 penny graded as mint state 65 or higher, where the surface is almost flawless and the luster is intact, can command a significantly higher price than a worn, circulated coin. Professional grading organizations like PCGS and NGC verify and grade these coins, certifying their condition and authenticity, which boosts collector confidence and market demand. The fascination with the 1973 Lincoln penny also extends to its historical context. This was a time when America was grappling with social and economic changes, yet the penny remained a constant symbol of stability. Because of its historical significance and collectible appeal, demand for high-grade 1973 pennies continues to rise in the numismatic market. Now, if you're wondering about the financial side of things, here's the exciting part. A 1973 United States 1-cent Lincoln penny, especially one bearing a mint mark from Denver or San Francisco, and preserved in immaculate condition or exhibiting a rare minting error, can be worth a staggering $74,300 in words. Imagine that, a small penny, easily overlooked in your change jar, holding a value that can transform your collection or even your financial outlook. So next time you come across a 1973 Lincoln penny, don't just toss it aside. Examine the mint mark, inspect the coin's condition, and look for any unusual details. You could be holding a coin that's not just a piece of history but a valuable collectible worth a fortune. Today, we're turning our attention to a very special piece of American history, the 1976 United States 1-cent Lincoln penny, complete with its mint mark. While pennies often go unnoticed, this particular year holds a unique place in the hearts of collectors and history buffs alike. If you've ever stumbled upon a 1976 Lincoln penny, you're going to want to stick around because the story behind this small coin is huge, and the value might just surprise you. Let's start with the historical backdrop. The year 1976 was America's bicentennial, a time when the country celebrated 200 years of independence. It was a year filled with patriotic pride, commemorative coins, and a sense of reflection on the nation's journey. Though the 1976 Lincoln penny didn't feature any special bicentennial designs, that honor went to quarters, half dollars, and dollars. The penny still carried the traditional Lincoln design, which by then had become a timeless symbol of American heritage. The 1976 penny showcases the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a design created by Victor David Brenner back in 1909. This image has endured for over a century, making the penny not only a coin but a tribute to one of America's greatest presidents. Lincoln's profile, detailed and dignified, represents leadership, courage, and unity, values that resonated especially strongly during the bicentennial year. Flipping the coin over, you'll see the classic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design introduced in 1959 to mark Lincoln's 150th birthday. The memorial's intricate columns and steps are finely engraved, symbolizing the strength and endurance of the nation. Though this design was common, the 1976 penny holds a special place because of its production context and mint variations. Now, let's talk mint marks, because they're key to understanding the penny's rarity and value. In 1976, pennies were primarily minted at two locations: Philadelphia, which typically does not carry a mint mark, and Denver, marked with a D. There was also a limited production of proof pennies at the San Francisco Mint, marked with an S. The mint mark tells collectors exactly where the coin was struck and can influence the coin's rarity and desirability. What makes the 1976 penny particularly intriguing is the combination of high mintage numbers with the reality that many coins have been heavily circulated, resulting in wear and damage over the decades. This means that finding a 1976 Lincoln penny in pristine, uncirculated condition is increasingly rare. The coins that have been carefully preserved, showing sharp details and a brilliant shine, are especially prized among collectors. Another factor that adds to the allure of the 1976 penny is the presence of some notable mint errors and varieties. Errors such as double dies, where the date or lettering appears double due to a misalignment in the minting process, can make these pennies exceptionally valuable. Other errors might include off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, or planchet flaws, all of which create unique and highly collectible coins that stand out in any collection. Condition remains king in the coin collecting world, and the 1976 penny is no exception. Coins graded mint state 65 or higher by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC, meaning they have minimal flaws and retain their original luster, can fetch substantially higher prices compared to circulated examples. These high-grade coins are the ones that serious collectors compete to acquire. The 1976 penny also holds a special sentimental value as it reflects an era of American history marked by patriotism, social change, and economic challenges. For collectors, owning this coin isn't just about monetary worth, it's about connecting with the story of a nation. So, what about the coin's market value? Here's the exciting news: a 1976 United States 1-cent Lincoln penny, especially one with a mint mark from Denver or San Francisco and preserved in excellent, near-perfect condition, or better yet, one exhibiting a rare minting error, could be worth a jaw-dropping $75,600 in words. Yes, you heard that right. What seems like a simple penny could be a treasure trove of value tucked away in your collection or even loose in your pocket, next time you come across a 1976 Lincoln penny. Take a moment to check the mint mark and examine its condition carefully. You might be holding a coin that's not just a piece of metal but a piece of American history and a potential fortune. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into the 1976 Lincoln penny's story and value. If you enjoyed this exploration and want to discover more fascinating coins and their incredible worth, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on future coin adventures. Until next time, happy collecting, and may every coin you find add a little magic to your day.